Okay, so the fourth law, law of correspondence, is this universal law states that the principles or laws of physics that explain the physical world energy, light, vibration, and motion have their corresponding principles in the etheric or universe as above, so below. Okay, so there's also a hermetic principle called the correspondence principle. And the principle embodies truth, that there is always a correspondence between humans, laws, phenomenon, and the various planes of life. Okay, here it says, our current reality is a mirror of the world. Okay, so how we are inside is what we will attract outside. Our current reality is a mirror of the world that is being created inside of us. So what our soul is focused on becomes our outer reality, or our dream state reality. So in other words...
I have a question.
Sure.
Okay, so it means whatever you attract. So like, say for example, you attract a certain type of like guys, for example, like abusive or something. What does that mean? You want abusive? Like your inner self wants abusive?
That is an excellent question, actually. That's a little bit of both. So it has a lot to do with environmental upbringing. If you're attracting certain men that are not good for you, it's settling for second best, but it's also identifying with something that you're familiar with.
Okay.
Okay, so, you know, and it's so common too. A lot of girls do get that guy that's the rebel, like, kind of dude.
Yeah.
But when you start noticing, have you noticed that about yourself at all?
No, I was just saying, like, for example, I noticed a certain group, but it's not, like, abusive.
Right? She's like, not me.
She's identifying me. That's what she's doing.
No, like, for me, like, mine is, like, the rebels, but, like, the people I attract are more into, like, drugs.
Oh, great.
Oh.
But, like, I don't date them. It's just, like, I notice, and then I just, like, go away from them. Like, I stop talking to them.
So those are the ones that you attract. Okay, so that's just that your energy has been around somebody that does drugs. We won't name any names. Your ex, right? We get very personal in this room. So your ex, and so that was your energy just kind of attracting that. But by you saying no and walking away from that type of character, it makes that light dim and more dim.
So how do you attract, like, rich guys?
Well, at least you're
I like to do.
and me.
Here are all those giggles. Everyone's like, all of us would like to be rich men.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you do, well, for me, I was actually speaking about that to a friend this morning. For me, I go after three things in a relationship. I go for a man that loves God, that respects his mom, and that likes his job, no matter if he's making $10 an hour or $1,000 an hour. However, we have to have certain guidelines. However, if you really want a man, and it is actually in nature that women like men that can take care of them, and men usually like younger women. Usually, and it's only the average, right? So get yourself an old rich man. But really, at the end of the day, what you do is you put yourself in situations where you will find those men. Oh! When you want to get a certain person, you have to put yourself in that area. So like the law of action. So you want to act upon getting a man that is affluent. Then you have to be around people who are affluent. So let's say a little bit when you get a little bit older and you start going to certain clubs. You don't want to go to the clubs that are holes in the wall. You want to go to a club.
Never go to a club.
Right. So you go to Yorkville, and you have to go during specific times. So you go during Toronto International Film Festival. You go when there's certain things going on. Put yourself in the areas of people who you want to be with. So if you want to have a fireman, for instance, and date a fireman, then you go on Facebook, and they have thousands of groups on Facebook, and you go to the fireman group.
Or you set your house on fire.
Go to the first one. Don't do the second. We don't have insurance.
That's what you do. So you put yourself in the area of what you want. Law of action, law of vibration. So you put the thought out to the universe. You say, you know what, this is what I would really like. And then you start sending out those thought waves, and then you start acting upon it. And all of a sudden it does start to work. Back to the law of correspondence. So what we think inside is what our reality becomes on the outside. That is what the law of correspondence is, the mirror of our soul. So if there's certain negative things happening, I'll give you guys an example. A friend of mine who is always thinking about somebody doing him wrong. He's always saying, oh, someone wants to do something negative to him. Some people might say he's on the borderline of paranoid. I don't call him paranoid. I just call him insecure, for a better word. He's a little insecure. So, little things happen to him. Example, he will go somewhere and he'll get ripped off constantly. So, yeah, and so today he was saying to me, even today, he was saying to me that he bought his top-up card for his cell phone. And today was the day, last night midnight was the day it was supposed to cut off. So it cut off, so he went to top it up today. It's supposed to be $40 that he tops it up every month. Well, he goes to top it up, and it was only $30. He attracted that to himself. His top-up card was only $30. He looked at his receipt, and it was $45. So he paid $45 for $30. Right? And he's like, and I know that when I top up with Wind, and mine is $40 a month, I have to buy a $20 card and a $20 card, right? Top up. So they don't do $40 cards all the time. So right away he gets upset, but not mean upset. He just says to himself, oh my gosh, that woman, she ripped me off. And I was like, well, make sure she didn't, check your pockets. And he's like, no, she ripped me off. And what did he do? He went all the way back to Wind to let her know that she forgot to give him a $10 card, but he didn't check deep enough in his pockets for the other receipt. Now, I don't know why he had one receipt in one pocket and then a receipt in another, because I think I'm pretty organized where if I get both receipts and I know that's like money, right, I'm going to put them both in my pocket, I'm going to take care of them. And he normally does that too. He really is very organized. But for some reason, correspondence, him always being worried that he's going to get ripped off, automatically he puts that out and somehow the receipts are in different pockets, he can't find it, and he automatically thinks he's ripped off and then runs and finds out, oh, there's the other receipt.
But what if the person handed it to him at different times? That way, she gives him the receipt, oh, thanks, and then she gives him another receipt and say, oh, thanks.
And that's what they do, because they give you one receipt, and then the next one prints up, and they give it to you.
Because I do that sometimes.
Right, but him, he should have taken it, said thank you, been a little patient, and then got the other one, thank you, fold them both up and put them in his pocket, right? Because it's like money, they're giving you money at that moment. They don't top up for you, it's a receipt, but you have to go top up yourself. So he was being irresponsible at the end of the day. And so that's what happens with the law of correspondence. You will find that the things that you expect will automatically happen. And yes, he actually did have both receipts, so he did not get ripped off. But somehow something went awry. The law of correspondence is the outside is the mirror of our soul. So if we start noticing that things are happening in our life that is just total, like we don't want it, we have to start focusing on different thoughts, start focusing on different behavior, feelings, and everything of that nature, okay? Were you going to say something?
No, sorry.
So that's exactly what it is. And the seeds of our thoughts and feelings that we plant and nurture in our inner world are what materializes in our outside world. And because our thoughts and our feelings are vibrations that communicate with the vibrations of the universe, we put out what we get back.